So take me through the decision to leave Texas Tech. I mean, obviously you built that thing, and everybody loved you, and you come back to the place that you went to school. That's kind of home for you. What was that process like?
I'm proud of my time in Lubbock. People forget, 15 years of my life. It wasn't the 5 years as head coach. It was 10 years as an assistant for Coach Knight and Pat. So 15 years of my adult life was in Lubbock. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's a difficult decision because there's a lot of emotion involved, and anything with emotion, can be challenging. But to me, this is the next challenge, the next opportunity. But it wasn't anything about what wasn't in Lubbock. It was more about the opportunity here.
February 1st. You know what February 1st is?
17 days from my birthday.
It's also when you go back to Lubbock. You thought about that? Just the emotions that you'll have going back.
It's not really easy going anywhere when you got Texas across your chest. I feel like I'm qualified and educated enough to comment on it because I've been on both sides of it. I was here with Coach Penders back in the day where in a lot of ways we were the biggest game on the other team's schedule, or at least one of the biggest games. And I've certainly competed against these guys on the other bench. So I think I understand what I'm getting into. I think our players understand what we're getting into. Not only the game in Lubbock, but other road games this year are always challenging when you're playing for the University of Texas.
So you look around here, and this building's going to be gone soon. It's obviously a building you know well, but a program you know well. How do you get Texas back to what it was when kind of Kevin Durant was here and they had it rolling, even when you were here with Penders?
It's about being consistent. And to me, that's going to take a team effort. We've called it Unite the Family this year. What we mean by that is not only the players, the former players, the coaches, the former coaches, but also the season ticket holders, all the fan base, just everybody coming under one umbrella.
How good can this team be? You were a basket away from winning a national title. Do you feel like this team, is it too soon to be able to understand what this team can do?
The first thing is you got to get in the fight. And I think there's a couple dozen that probably have a real chance when the season starts just based on talent and how their locker room's set up and how their leadership is set up to be a part of the fight. And I would confidently say we're a part of the fight. Then as the season goes on, you got to get better. And then ultimately in March, you got to be playing your best basketball. So I do think we're a part of the fight. I don't think we're better than anybody else, but I don't think anybody's sitting here better than us right now.
What do you wish you had from this team? What don't you have that you're kind of concerns you that you need to maybe come through for you guys to be able to make a run?
We're a skilled team with experience, but we don't have that just above the rim, long athletic guy. Now, Christian is a super athlete. Trey can do a lot of things with his athleticism and on down the line, but we don't have that Jericho Sims, that Tariq Owens. But that's okay. Our rim protection's got to come in different ways, and we got to beat you in a skill game when it gets right down to it. Last 4 minutes of an NCAA tournament game, we're not going to be relying on just pure athleticism. We're going to be relying on playing the game the right way. We are a new team, and we embrace that. We know that. We are fighting time. We're not ready to beat the teams that we got to beat today, but the plan is, can we get better in January and February and ultimately in March when it matters most, be ready? I'm confident the answer will be yes.
What's the coolest part of being back here in Austin? I mean, again, you were here 30 years ago as a student. Has it kind of hit you yet, or is it going to be, that first game when you come out coaching your alma mater?
I really enjoy challenges, and I really enjoy putting teams together. And so that same excitement we had in San Angelo, that same excitement that we had in Little Rock, that same excitement that we had in Lubbock, it's back. I love the challenge of putting teams together.
What do you worry about with college basketball and where it's headed? Again, like you said, NIL, transfers. There's so much going on right now in college basketball. What do you worry about?
I've always said that our game is the best game ever. It's the best game they invented. March Madness is the best tournament in the history of sports. And I love the NBA Finals and the Super Bowl, but March Madness, so I've always been kind of a believer that the game will be fine. College basketball, it ignites cities, it changes people's lives. It's awesome, man. And it's not just March to me. It's the whole season. College basketball is going to prevail. It always has and it always will.
What's it been like so far? You hear different coaches. Obviously, nobody can say anything too negative about it on the record because it affects recruiting. But what's it been like for you to kind of navigate?
I mean, everybody's benefiting. Why shouldn't the players? Last I checked, we're in America. And so it's never felt right for me, but it does now. Now, what it looks like, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of, um, time down the line. None of us really know what it is, but I love the idea that in the United States of America, when this game is making all this money, that the players can benefit. Some of our guys have clothing lines right now. I mean, I love it. Went to a restaurant the other night, and some kid's wearing a Timmy Allen shirt. I mean, game on, man. I like that. And I know Timmy made a few bucks off of that. It feels right to me.
You don't have a clothing line yet?
I do not have a clothing line, but
Probably
I,
a good thing. Probably a good thing.
I just envision a day like where you see us hanging out and we're all wearing our player stuff. I love that. It's a player's game. Last time I checked,